in on the road. As they came in for a walk all the way from Chief Taylor's school, and they're going to be finishing off right here at the Onion Lake Memorial Communiplex. It's going to be good stuff, man. There's going to be a little bit of a facilitator, somebody talking, and then they're going to have a round table. So come on out. This is inviting all of you here in Onion Lake community. Come on out to Onion Lake and to the Communiplex Hall. Things are going to happen here. They're going to have dinner around 12 o'clock. There's some good soup and bannock being made in the kitchen right now. Oh, it smells good, Muse, but one smells really good. As you can see on the screen right there, people coming in. There's our drummer, our singer. Guys hanging out over on the truck tailgate right there. The walkers are getting here. We're going to have to go into a little bit of a ceremony mode as we got a drummer going to be drumming for us here. Good stuff. Good. Everybody come on out to the memorial. Good. Hello. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Two, check 1, 2. Two.
Maka, today we celebrate Orange Shirt Day, survival of the fittest, survival of the people who survived residential school. And I believe this walk is for a little girl. Mo chipakit needs is kapuska, her orange shirt to school. At one time, a long time ago, a lot of us here, we didn't see the struggles our parents went through, our grandparents, our grandmothers, our grandfathers. For some reason, they survived Tuistawal so that we can survive. And then there were the ones who didn't survive. We hear about these unmarked graves, maybe people going missing during the school years. That's who we walk for. We want to make sure we remember that they're remembered on this day. So with that, I thank you all for coming out to walk. Did you want to say? So me and Rita, we work out of a 4 pillars group. Me and Nan, we're here for justice, for unity, for equality, and for freedom of choice. So we were hired by the band to get families together, get our people working on themselves, healing of who they are. I'm glad, I feel I'm privileged to be here. A 4 pillars group. Ikaw this morning, she sat as the elder lady at the pipe ceremony. Maybe Claire Rani Sigasut, Tipetagagi Gasut, a real old name. Wave at them.
Wave.
And she insists she wants to be in this walk. So without further ado, we'll get Kapapik Squano. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Good morning. My name is Rita Nista. Nanaskamon Nista, I thank you all for joining us in this walk. It really means and just be a part of this journey that we're on. And that's all I need to say for now. But yeah, I'm grateful that you guys joined us this morning, and we had our pipe ceremony this morning. It was a good feeling. We had our Gugum now right here. She was chosen to be the Gugum this morning. So, say Tanse. Say Tanse over there. Look. Say Tanse. Oh, Eksa, Pitama. Hi. We're going to call up leadership to say a few words. We'll start with Doreen.
Good morning, everyone. Tansatuya. Kakiok tatamskat na wa nutskagi sagak. Ni ganit teguya nanaskumano gutawino. Asaimine wigo agisagaw kapmuta tamautaski. Nanaskuma wag Mr. Fox for doing the pipe ceremony for us Kiksep. That really means a lot. Mr. Hetagi Tegegama on a day like today. Kikskatena no kakio, Kiwayo Mutan Utskisagao. Dan say Tagi Tegut and Utskisagao. Kispinegao se Gugum Noak, Musum Noak, Kawi Noak, Utawi Noak, Kasi Kagi. Dan say Teguengaiton. Kagi waiwi te kagi atit moi gaskita wag atit mo te pegiwe wag residential school ote e kune kanga no utskakskisia Kamam tene mayagog. Moy pogano it's tato gisagaw. Kispinagaw ti egonig. Moy taka hapenano giano. We are wow igi kwatagi hitik. Igi kwatagi tatik kay iksna magostik. Mo te wap matigonigi guawa. For years and years, mo te paknitik. Moy go ise uta samitik. Nato ise gisik te mahitik. Good morning, friends and relatives. This morning I give thanks to the Creator for allowing us and loaning us another day to walk this beautiful journey that we're all on. I give thanks to Mr. Fox, our elder, for holding the pipe this morning. We all know today is a significant day in many of our nation, all over the world, across the country. Today is a day that we reflect and remember our loved ones, our moms, our dads, our gugums, our musums, our tapans, and some of you, the children, especially the survivors. My heart goes out to you. I get emotional when I talk about it because my mom is a survivor. I wouldn't be standing here if she wasn't a survivor. My nugum was a survivor. Before my nugum passed away, she kind of told us a little bit of what she went through. As a little girl, a 5-year-old girl, she was stripped from her parents to go live in this building she knew nothing about, to go live with these people she knew nothing about. Only to be told when she got there, her and her little brother, only to be told she couldn't see her brother even though they were in the same school. And she said the only time she was excited every day for lunch because that was the only time she would catch a glimpse of him on the other side. She stood just to make sure, and she'd be relieved every time she saw him because at least he was alive. They were little kids then, and that hurt me when I see these little kids, 3, 4, 5-year-old kids. I can't even imagine somebody coming to our community and ripping them off from us and taking them away. And we can't see them for years and years and years, and they've never celebrated birthdays. So many intergenerational trauma effects that we're still dealing with today. And I'm so thankful for our community. I'm so thankful for the group, the 4 Pillars group that are bringing that awareness to healing, because that is exactly what it is healing. One day at a time, we heal ourselves from listening to those stories. Before I came into leadership in 2022, I was working with Onion Lake Healing and Wellness. One of my roles over there was to help our people fill out or apply for the Indian residential school process. I thought, okay, I can do it. I thought it looked easy enough, but holy man, it was not easy. Especially interviewing elders, translating their stories. It took a toll on me, but somebody had to do it. And I commend those elders for reaching out and telling those stories because they need to be told. We no longer should be afraid to tell our story because we're human as well. I can't remember which year it was, the federal government were called on to do 94 calls of actions. Out of those 94 calls of actions, I think maybe 2 or 3 have been honored. Hey, Joe? Not everything was honored yet, but we're still fighting for those actions to be held. So in closing, I commend you all. Thank you for being here, 7th Gen. Thank you for the prayers, Mr. Fox. Thank you to the walkers and the little kids. Thank you to Ivy and Rita and the people that are going to be feeding us, the singers. Thank you so much. With that, let's have a wonderful day today. I hike the Naskum now.
Good morning. Kakio dat mskadna gutawi no riuniut. Nista steina nas komuna no skagis kak. Kuskaim no go gep mutet wistagis kist. Musuma goma gawia tawia. Hagi pegano emit. Upme. Tatsi guta, maka tas kuts wayo, tas kuts niya. 7 years in yaso sonagutuy. Ramo ayok tagagiwigya, mumanut pakngon kapegiran. Nitya tama nigi kwechigeman katogyugan, munut paktengon. Pispera angigimin. Hagi musumiano ki kagi son uta. Tago mumani geste kukte petakaya takuta nakte ginigyo. Kio mamu tau si taint pegimi anta utane gent. Neten tau gyo gata kok mumaise pak ngoy anta. Puse. Kio painan. Mana pugino se takopa se mino ga takopa de pentonot. Monu te wain intao. Kapsasteogon. Moito. Pizza tai ant spenewewit. Ero kagi san expio ai mino ga takote. Ai minis manegita water peroni. Egini taneo et. Agunani ai kawe vita musome anu tem seragi gamat. Pasne pagamat. Eks pepitro. Mom sa dan tont. Xera ai migis gare waispai koino tai tampo kont moyanta. Monute wainin. Sasteo gonta. Pakamogon. Moito. Hera pagawain utai tant. Tem sematora sunak. Hatsi pagamaising yuain utaik. Yksi takuti agakte hera me vinis penaks kaunan. Siinä askut munantu tarmeksian. Yksi aina munantu nuutsi taun. Kiiguste uudega kui musumian. Magu maja. Ego mu manutsum kespaigu ma kiskao. Mitse taimiuk. Egis kistego tauja nista kiksep. Tipsko taimutena nuss makun kuetsemkuk. Ego mum. Tamu ita toponenagi pittuentuk. Nianopone anstam kagi pittuan. Tootsingi pegiwan toota seminagitam. Kegam tada kagi toponean ha seminagitam. Tepe angetaan ni taimitsiaan ja simaan ni taimitsiaan ni tamasnegaan no ni pukuktaga jutengaan makutakki go magiwe munutsta magonan kiwa masagitun kiwa magaksnamot hasak taasamisage tantsige sagiet mõjunutksna magonan nagu Hapon yang ginoes nginuti tan. Kagos katnak ntawasim sa kawitamog esagik. Takamanaw no itsagan steyo no ichik. Huya magi wekto tse wapatam. Mayo tse skaitam. Oksoy tan soygis mpaita. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody. Mr. Fox for the prayers this morning. Scott Bilsak for the help. Danny for the song. And all you people that are here, remembering somebody in your family that has been in the residential school. I told a little bit about my story. I went in twice. First time I went in, I was 5 years old. The reason why I went in was because we lived too far off the road. I was taken from my family just to go to school. The first year, the first time. The second time I wouldn't. The first time was just for 1 year. Then they let me come home because my parents were still together. The second time was the separation of my parents. I went in as a 9-year-old and didn't come home till 14. But a lot of times I never came home. We weren't allowed. I wasn't allowed to come home, even though we only lived a mile from the residential school. Finally, one day I ran away. Came up here to the store, met my grandfather there. He asked me what I was doing. I told him I ran away. Said, why? Because I wanted to visit you, but they wouldn't let me. So we said, get in the truck. So we got home. Not 10, 15 minutes after the priest showed up looking for me. I told my grandfather, I'm not going back. I don't want to go back. They're going to hit me and strap me. I said, no, they won't. So it just so happened the priest that came there who spoke was very fluent in Cree. So my grandfather went out and gave him heck. Then after that, Sunday came around and said, I got to take you back. And he said, no, I'm not going back. And I started crying. I said, no, I have to take you back. So he took me back, and first person we met over there was that same priest. But he never did nothing, so I never got strapped or nothing because they were scared of my Muslim. But one thing that come out of there is I was able to speak English, read English, and write. And we were talking about that there last night with my grandchildren. They asked me how old I was when I went in. Told them I was 5. There was this one kid that came in after. He was only 4.5 years old when he came in. And he stayed right through till he was 14. There's not too many of us left, survivors, that have been there. And it's hard to sometimes think about it, what my sisters and I went through, what my parents went through. Both my parents were survivors. And they all, both of them led unhealthy lives. But it was no fault of their own. When they weren't drinking, they were the best parents. But when they drank, they were totally different. A lot of times, I remember a couple times I took my sisters and we went and slept in the bush because of what was going on. And I would ask my sisters a couple of times, a few times, said, do you guys ever remember anything like that? And they said, no. Because I did things for them not to see, not to remember. Only I remember these stuff. But a lot of good memories came out of that too, that you did stuff on your own. And one of the things that we did in school was the best thing for us, some of us were hockey players, when was you broke a hockey stick and you made skis out of them. We'd go down the hill skis with, and when you had one boy, he was the best skier. He knew how to make these skis out of a hockey stick. He would go down the hill so fast and not even fall off. And that was Patrick. I always remember him. He was the best skier. He could have made it to the Olympics, probably. But these are the things I remember. But one story I always tell. I was just a little kid. The first time I remember, these two boys came and asked me, do you want to go down the hill on a toboggan? I said, okay. But I didn't know who they were. So when I got in the middle, they told me, sit in the middle. So, okay. And this guy behind me, he stood behind me and he kept moving the toboggan back and forth like this. And I was wondering why. So finally, he got to where he wanted it placed perfect. So the one guy jumped in the front, the guy in the back pushed it and jumped in. As we were going down the hill, the guy behind me jumped off, and I looked back, he was running, and then the guy in the front jumped off, and he was rolling down on the side of me, and I'm busy looking in the back. What's going on? Then all of a sudden I hit something. I thought it was a tree. I was dazed, I was laying flat, kind of sat up and looked around, but there was no trees. The only thing in the front was a big black thing. But I was wondering what it was. And it rose, it kind of scared me. Here it was a nun. I ran into a nun, but these guys aimed at the toboggan at that nun. So when she got up, she kind of collected herself, and first thing she did was grab my ear, and up the hill we went, and I got strapped for that. And I said, it wasn't me. Well, who was it? I said, I don't know, because I didn't know who the two were. So these two boys, they got me in trouble for running over the nun. But little things like that you remember. But on all in all, we have to keep the memories of our people that came home with our parents. But this morning, part of the prayer that was instructed for Mr. Fox to pray was to pray for the students, the young children, the small children that didn't make it home, that died in the residential schools, that didn't make it. My dad used to talk about a lot of them. He talked about a couple of boys that he knew that committed suicide here at the Catholic. And he would always go quiet after, because he knew these boys. And I guess it affected him in a way that nobody can ever explain. Even to this day, some of us cannot explain some of the things that we saw or they saw. go on here with stories, I guess, but like Mr. Fox, he posted one this morning about a marble cheater, hopscotch cheater. Those are little stories that you keep to yourself, kind of thing, which is also nice to share, because you know who they are, and those are some of your best friends. And some of my best friends were from Little Pine also, that I went to school with and grew up with, and one of them had passed on many years ago, and the other one I've talked to not too long ago is not feeling good. I think he had cancer, he said. So you sing about those boys too. So with that, thank you very much for everybody that's being involved in doing this with Ivy, Rita. Thank you very much. Hi, hi.
Hi, hi. Give him a hand, people. Well, need to keep the flow going. We have Soup and Bannock getting ready. Magay Megots will have a few more people come up and talk about their experiences. It's an open mic session, kaitwe. I thought Clayton was going to come and talk. Magaya Pat Ngatibata, if you would like to come up and, I guess he would have went to the Olympics with the skis, eh? Mapu, we didn't even know. So give him a hand, Pat, baby, scratch yo. Yeah, Nista, I didn't, my Notawi Bun, he went to residential school, 3 years old, put in residential school. All his life, all our life, I used to tell my dad, he would be so stern, disciplining us all the time. He never once told me he loved me. All till his death, never once told us that. When I found out I was in university, I found out about this not being able to show emotion. So I used to tell him, Dad, I love you, Dad, I love you, Dad. All he used to say is, yeah, yeah, till his death. And I tell him, I love you, Dad, yeah. So those are the things he went through. And he used to sing, Nobody's Child. Nobody's Child, because his mom passed away, his dad passed away, so he had to stay in residential school. But here's Pat.
Hi, hi. Ooh. Aya. Niga na gananas kawan. Kutawi no he awigwa ko ta kiskao. Awi saya gawanska an gik sepo ta ya. Semakimane megasigan. Eksemane misnanas kuman ai hai ma senamoin matsun. Pe kiskao magastamoin matsun ai hai. I don't know what's in store for tomorrow, so I'm thankful for today in the Creator's name. I got up this morning at about 6 o'clock. I went to my little smudge pan. I started smudging. And as usual, I'm always praying for my kids, my grandkids, and everybody else in Onion Lake that I know, my loved ones. Residential school was not a very comfortable place to be for myself too. I've experienced a lot in there. I've seen a lot in there. And little did I know I should have been a champion skier, but at least I did it there. You know, there were some, like Joe, my brother said, you know, there are some benefits that you can gain from certain things, regardless of how hard things are. I always help out here at the funerals. Every funeral that happened here, I'm always here. And I always hear the elders talk about that, you know. It's hard to lose a loved one and you cry for that person. But it's good to turn it into happiness also. Because they say when you cry for somebody too long, you're keeping that person here. And you should be happy that there is a good place for us when we leave this world. How I know that is because I've ran into so many different people that have had their experiences where they've gone to that good place, where they've gone to that middle place, where they've gone to that bottom place, and they came back and were told, share these stories to people around you. I have about 8 or 9 different people that approach me. Some of them I don't even know from a hole in the wall, and they shared their story with me about their near-death experiences, what they've seen over there. It is so beautiful over there. There's no pain, no confusion, no struggle, nothing but pure love and happiness. One of them said she saw her parents over there. It was so beautiful, she said. I didn't want to come back, she said. I cried to my mom and dad, but they told me I had to come back. You see, that's why I say when I pray in the morning, I pray just for the day. Hi. I'm thankful for the day. The Creator got His Son, the Son Himself, to shine a light on today. Let me know that He allowed me to live one more day. I don't know what's in store for tomorrow. However, I want to talk a little bit about this, what I'm holding here. When I was in the residential school, I didn't know anything. I wasn't taught anything there. When I came home, my grandparents raised me. I don't know much about my childhood. I don't remember much about my young days, my childhood days, because of all the traumatic experiences that I've been through, whether it's sexual, physical, mental abuse. All of that became one thing that I've experienced. As a result, I ended up in prison at 16 years old. Back then, they didn't have the Young Offenders Act. I went to jail. And guess what? Because I had no direction here in Onion Lake from my adult peers. Nobody showed me how to become this. Nobody taught me anything. My late grandfather was a pipe maker. He always had certain little things that he was able to make. He decorated horses for weddings, for funerals. He made drums, he made rattles, he made whistles, he made headdresses, he made everything for traditional events and whatnot. And he was the whip man here in Onion Lake in all the ceremonies. 1951, him and his buddies, late Antoine Little Wolf and other older people, were the first ones to bring in the powwow in Onion Lake here. They were the first ones to organize the powwow here. My auntie Isabel Little Wolf has so many stories. She can tell you a lot about that stuff. When I went to a ceremony, this was given to me. It's your turn now, I was told. It's not recognized much here in Onion Lake. I make pipes. I make rattles, I make whistles, I can make drums. I do all this stuff for people that need these things. And it wasn't shown to me, it wasn't taught by my late grandfather, even though he used to attend all these ceremonies. I had to learn by myself. I got into the ceremonies in my late 30s. I went to a Sundance just to go and observe. Old people over there came up to me and they said, "Are you here to help?" I said, "No, I just want to watch." Well, they gave me a pack of cigarettes and I'm so gullible, I guess, in a way. I took that pack of cigarettes without asking what it was for. And that old guy told me, he said, go over there and help them. Do what? They'll tell you. That's all he said. So I went over there and I helped out, build a Sundance Lodge. I thought, wow, first time ever. And I was stood by the center pole when it was done, eh? They're sitting there, these old people. But they didn't have a pipe man. They said, have you ever done this before? And who do you think you are leaning up against that pole like that? So I had to respect that pole. I didn't know that, but I learned the hard way and quick. And they told me, they said, sit down. We'll show you how it's done. We'll direct you. Oh man, I never got yelled at by old people. A couple of times, 3 of them yelled at me at the same time. And I was going to quit because I got mad. I got upset. But you know what? I didn't know that that's how they used to treat Uskapeusak back in the day. The old people would yell at you and tell you, that's not right. Do it right. You know, I'm fortunate today. I get people that come to my house from different communities. They bring a pouch of tobacco and a print. They come right to my house. They don't call me up and say, come over here, we have tobacco for you here. They come to my house and they say, here, we'd like you to come and help us. Now that's the proper way to do it, and I appreciate that very much when they do that. So now I get called to go and sit with the pipe. And guess what? I have my own in my house too. I do. I smoke my pipe once in a while. One day, I am prepared. I am willing. I might be called to help out in that way too someday. Because the old people always said, you know, you gotta learn at a young age. You gotta start young. Because one day, we're not gonna be here. It will be your turn to take over and teach us. So that's why I have this. This was my Muslim's job. Sitting with the pipes and taking care of the elders, that was my Muslim's job too. I remember one old guy telling me, he says, I remember your grandfather, when he came to the Sundance, when he showed himself there, the elders would say, oh, that means the whip man is here. You know what? Back in the day, the parents would go and grab their children, put them in a tent because they didn't want the kids getting whipped. That's how strict he was. There's a whole bunch of things that I can share with you today. But I'm really thankful for Ivy inviting me to be a part of this. And they're in turn inviting my daughter and my son to be helpful here too. My son, since he's here, I'd like to openly say that I'm grateful for what he's been able to do for me. It didn't take him long to learn how to be an Uskapeos. When he's at a chicken dance or another ceremony or whatever, and he's helping there, you know, I don't have to tell him much because he knows what to do already. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for everybody that's here. And I'm grateful for my sister here and my brother being here too as leaders. It shows that they're committed in supporting us this way. Thank you for listening to it, and like I said, I have more that I can share, but I don't want to take too much time.
Hi, Lionel. Yeah, is there anybody else wants to come out and share some of their stories? Mr. Fox, Astam, do you want to come and stand up, or we could bring it to you?
Good morning, everybody. Nistaya, stay musita ano maya. Hanutskisigaw. I got emotional this morning thinking about Orange Shirt Day because it takes me back, way back to my residential school days. Some I suffered and struggled throughout my stay at the school because when I first entered the school, they took away my name. I never heard my name throughout the year after. They gave me a number. Number 39 was my number. And that took the place of my name. Number 39, go to bed. Number 39, come here. That's all I heard throughout the years, Egwa. It was, I got used to it after a while, but then after many years, I stayed there for 9 years with no love, no guidance, just directions every day. And we were made to pray from morning till night. From the time we got up in the morning, we prayed. Before breakfast, we prayed. After breakfast, we prayed. Before class, we prayed. Before lunch, we prayed. After lunch, we prayed. Before supper, we prayed. Just all the way to bedtime, we prayed. But come to think of it now, it was just a recital. We didn't really know what we were saying. We just memorized the words and we follow along. I came out of there with no love, no guidance. I grew up with no parents. I was raised in a residential school. So I left school. The summer months I used to stay with my uncle, Ed Fox. That elder, he taught me about respect, humility. He taught me how to respect other denominations. I remember that one Sunday morning we got up and he smudged and prayed and sang a song. And then we walked, after breakfast, we walked to the church, Catholic church here. And we went to the service. After church, we walked back all the way to his little homestead. Then after lunch, we hitched up the wagon and drove down to the east side to a gospel meeting. So he taught me how to respect the other denominations. So up till now, I have respect for all beliefs. And my other uncle, Joe Fox, taught me about hard work. All summer we cut hay, haul hay, make haystacks, fencing. So those trades I learned from my uncles. But after I left school, I had no guidance, so I messed up in my life. If I did a timeline on my life, I wasted about 15 years of my life messing up. And a turning point in my life was the cultural part came into my life. So I started being a Uskapeus. I was Uskapeus for maybe 25 years before I got my pipe And it so happened that it was my uncle's pipe, Edward. So this ceremony today really brought me back to all the sorrow and the treatment we got from the schools. But there's, like Joe said, there was good times. We made good friends, lifelong friends. I still connect with my residential schoolmates, some of them. But that will be all I can share for now. Muestas.
Hi, Mr. Fox. I think we're going to call up Chester Kapipik Spiratio. Huh? Nipo.
Right. Hi, ganasim now. Chester and Seagasson. Red Earth with Sania. My dad was a resident school survivor too. And it's kind of hard now that you have to talk about it, but it's good. You're healing. My dad never said, I love you. Not ever when I was little. I started to, I asked my brothers and my sisters, why this dad doesn't say I love you? And it was residential school, I guess. Oh, last one. I thought I would be brave to talk about it, but it hurts. But in a way, I'm gonna heal. My baby girl, she's my little boss. She'll make me strong every day. My dad got residential school money, $86,000. But for what? When he got the money, he started drinking. That's what residential school did to him, just to drink. I asked my dad, don't drink, buy yourself something. But he never did it. That's what the money did to him. When he was drunk, he said, I love you. But that's the only time he just said, Kisagid, when he was drunk. Man, it just hit me. After he'd finished finishing his money, he bought himself stuff, and he wanted to change. And I was thankful that he changed himself. But we never had the courage to ask him why he never said, I love you. But he was in a residential school himself. He went through pain, suffering, probably didn't even see his mom and dad, because I was with my Gugum and Mushum. Even them, they didn't tell us. But today I'm thankful to be here, just to get this pain that I have, to let it go. Naskman for my wife and my children, and my workplace, and my family, my adopted family, the Batagans, Ben Batagan, my brother, and my sister Rita, and all the sisters that I have. I'm thankful for those that I have. Oh man, I'm thankful today that just to get this heavy chest off when we were walking halfways, I said to myself, I'm doing this for my dad and the ones that survived and the ones that didn't make it. So thank you very much. You'll ask me now. Aye.
Love you, dear Chester. Tapoy, yai mama, pe matisun. We just have to know, we survived this time. I don't know if anybody else would like to come up and talk. Mimich, my good old buddy Mimich, Dr. Sigatak, Crystal. Those of you out there, I can even take the mic around. We'll be here for the afternoon. We'll stick around. We'll talk. If anybody would like to talk, and it's always good to it's good to get some healing. It's good to talk about things like this. I know for myself, if I talk, but if I play guitar and sing it, I don't cry about it. I don't know how it works like that. But if we have nobody else, we can come in a circle there. We're going to ask you to come in a circle here, and we'll get our feathers. We go now know a feather. It's a wooden feather, just like Tansiganimanan, the wooden Indian, Hank Williams song, and Maka. If there's one, what shall we big squiggle? Something like if you don't say anything and you really want to say something, it'll bug you after. So upseas we big squiggle. Hello.
Hello, everybody. My name is Clayton. I'm from around here sometimes. I just want to share a few stories. Both my parents were both residential school survivors. Apparently, my dad went to school in grade 4. His mother used to work at the old RC school, and she pulled him out of school because he knew there was abuse going on there, my dad told him. My mother went to St. Paul Residential School and ended up at Hobima Residential School. She was one of the girls that used to run away from school all the time. She got moved around from school to school on account of that, further and further away. I remember her telling me these stories. Abusive, she said. And some time ago, the old Catholic church here burnt down. And I hear the story that the priests and the nuns burnt it themselves because the residential school records were in the basement there. And that's why that church burnt down, for the residential school records. Uncanny, but that's the story I heard. Thank you very much.
Hi. Give him a hand. Here, maybe you need a hug. Used to be an old cowboy. Otakakyo nipok in the middle. Gemak. Anything?
Dancer, kakyo kita tamskat na. Nanas ko muna sa amin nanista ko takis kaweb na ikaw yak mamotaw ma. Ego maya mistay nistaman mam tanaiten. Pero na ivikete nistaman na ke katse muskomuan. Thinking about these little ones that went to residential school. Thinking about this little girl. And paitakake ta hugo maheto tayo ko to ma. In a residential school, this was in BC. And when I made that orange shirt, and I made and then when she got there, she got stripped. They took that orange shirt away from her. They didn't let her wear it again. That's where the orange shirt came from. Mr. Naya. It's so hard to believe that what our parents, grandparents, my husband, his siblings, they went through this. They went through this residential school, and how can the priest do all these mean things to these kids and innocent kids not knowing what's going on. And they're in there for many years. Some don't even go home at all. Some go in 10 months. No Christmas for the family. It was so hard, and they weren't even taught love. My husband didn't know how to say, I love you, for longest time. It was always hard for him. Even his dad never said that to him. I was always surprised because my parents had told me they loved me. I grew up like that, being loved from both my parents. Even though they were separated, they still loved me. Although they went to residential school, but they still had that love. So I really appreciate for all the people that came. It's kind of sad that but it's always good that even this morning when they had the pipe ceremony, and I said, and my husband said, well, as long as there were some people there, that's good. That's good. That was really good. Anybody
else? Well, Nishtai, I carry this. This is my comfort. Way penaso te kasawim ko, kakanuim ko. They say when you offer a cloth, way penason ka stainik te nakataskyo ko ke hepento takwa kis wistawa. So with that, we're gonna go with anybody else? Emma? Moya? Okay. Well, honor song. Maybe let's try and close in the circle. Those of you that are outside the circle, come in the circle. Sisters, Astamik, come in the circle. Utakis in the circle kaki. Tawa chapu kaki ngamun. Moya, na middle kienots.
Aho, Nagumagantik. Lunchtime here at the Onion Lake Memorial Communityplex. If you guys want to come out and enjoy some soup and bannock, as you can see, the people are lining up here. They're still going to be hanging out here for a while throughout the day for people. If people want to come out and express what today means to them, there's going to be people here at the Onion Lake Memorial Communityplex Hall throughout the day. So don't be afraid to come out, or just show up and let people know what today means to you. Either today means to you, or if you want to share a story about residential school, being a residential school survivor, it could be anything in that area. Wear an orange shirt. Going to be here. Closing remarks are going to be around 2 p.m. So the doors are going to be open here at the Onion Lake Memorial Communityplex Hall. So don't miss out on dinner. There's some good soup cooked by some really deadly cooks. Awesome cooks. Good bannock. Love this stuff. You know what I mean. So come on out, everybody. It's here for you. This is for the community to come out. Also, tomorrow, or no, not tomorrow. Oh, yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Let's go over a little bit here of something that will be happening on Wednesday, October the 1st. Truth and Reconciliation, Healing and Moving Forward. Miupmatsun Mutetan. Half-day workshop. It's going to be happening at the Onion Lake Cree Nation Sagascooch High School. Opening prayer about 10:50 p.m. and opening remarks, followed by a video presentation about 11 o'clock, going to about 11:25. Honor song by Sagascooch host drum. History of trauma with Leanna McDonald from about 11:30 to 11:55. 11:55 to 12:20. Mental health, wellness, and being emotionally balanced with OLFS prevention presentation. 12:20 to 12:30 prayers for lunchtime. 12:30 to 1:15 a lunch break. 1:15 to 1:40 healing through ceremonies and culture with Randall Lewis. 1:40 to 2:10 healing through nutrition, health, and sports with Ken and Trista Badger. 2:10 to 2:20 there's going to be a health break. 2:20 to 2:45 addictions with Brian Mistu. 2:45 to 3:05 RCMP are going to be doing a cyberbullying presentation. 3:05 to 3:15 draws, and you must attend all sessions in order to be included in the draws. 3:15 the buses are going to load up. Sessions to begin about 10:50 a.m. Lunch served. Draws will be made. Open to the community and elders of Onion Lake Cree Nation. Sagascooch High School honors the impact of that residential schools have left on our survivors, our families, and our community by extending healing strategies to our youth and to our community. And here's a beautiful quote from Art Solomon. In order to heal a nation, we must first heal the individuals and families of the communities.
There's going to be something happening at 5 o'clock in the parking lot of the arena in recognition of Truth and Reconciliation Day. So come on back, 5 o'clock. Do a little self-care for yourselves for today. 5 o'clock, and I think there's a home opener, Junior A hockey game. 7 o'clock hockey game. Colson Bear, namin tatek tamititsik. Andrew Wapas.
Una, Avon, Skeenum. Some of our local hockey players are playing there. Hopefully they do good this year. But it's junior A now, so I think we got good players.
Again, all of this truth and reconciliation stuff going on here, you know, they got, like she mentioned there's a 7 p.m. puck drop here in Onion Lake Cree Nation at the Onion Lake Memorial Communiplex Arena. You know, come out and support our new Junior A Scouts. I do believe that they are going to be playing against the Lac La Biche Islanders. Along with that, over at the Eastside Prevention Building, they're having come and go tea and bannock. Everybody in the community is welcome there to come show up there, share a little bit of a story, or you know, share some knowledge, share some stuff that you did to help you deal with your issues that coming from residential school or being a part of being a residential school survivor. Share ways of what you did to help combat that. Hold on a second.
Oh, I thought you were gonna come sing. Rita would like to wanna share a story, share some jokes.
So again, tomorrow, October 1st, Wednesday, 2025, Sagascooch High School Auditorium. So that's the big old theater that they have in the Sagascooch High School. This is where all of these stuff is going to be going on. Again, 10:50 opening prayer, 11 o'clock video presentation, 11:25 Sagascooch Drum Group is going to be singing the honors song, 11:30 History of Trauma with Leanna McDonald, 11:55 Mental Health, Wellness, and Being Emotionally Balanced, Onion Lake Family Services Prevention, 12:30 lunch break, 1:15 Healing Through Ceremonies and Culture with Randall Lewis, 1:40 Healing Through Nutrition, Health, and Sports with Ken and Trista Badger, 2:20 Addictions with Brian Misto, 2:45 Cyberbullying Presentation with the Onion Lake RCMP, 3:05 Draws, and in order to be entered into the draw, you must attend all sessions. 3:15 Load up the buses. So please wear an orange shirt at tomorrow's activities at the Sagascooch High School. Please wear an orange shirt if you can, in commemoration to Truth and Reconciliation. So with that, you know, we'll just kind of hang out here and have some lunch. So if you guys are out there, come on out to Onion Lake Memorial Communiplex Hall. Lunch is served. Lunch is provided as a part of the commemoration walk this morning. They're handing out some awesome wooden eagle feathers here. So if you are a residential school survivor, come on out here, have some soup and bannock, and get yourself one of these wooden feathers. Ahoo.
I love you. That will.
Check 1 2. Check 1. Check 1 2. There we go.
Huh? Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. We are at the Truth and Reconciliation gathering right now at the Onion Lake Communiplex. Right now, they are having dinner or they're having lunch right now, and then I think they're going to go on to speak some more. We heard some very good speakers earlier talking about back in the day. We heard from a couple of survivors that actually went to the residential school, and which is very important to hear about it because we don't want to forget about it, right? It's very important that we never forget about our history. Tyler, what do you have to say about that?
Well, you're here with Tyler. Good morning in the afternoon. With the Truth and Reconciliation, we have so many elders that have so much resilience. You know, they went through a lot. Even they mentioned that they weren't taught how to say I love you, or nobody has said I love you to them, right? And I could relate to that, you know, because I just recently learned how to say, you know, at 35 years old. But now to this day, when I have my younger children, right, I learned to say I love you ever since they're a baby. Even that harmony, there's me, my baby's mother, and my stepson, right? I told them, let's say I love you, nice and slow, so you can hear that harmony. Let's see what the baby does. Then as soon as we said that, right, I love you. Then all the smokes, he's just seen the baby light up and just laugh. So he did that 3 to 4 times. Yeah, but that's one of our little family things that we've done with our young ones.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Sagit the win. Everybody needs that, but we all need to learn that also. So, but eventually we will. We will all learn it and just learn to
I want to go grab a plate.
No,
We'll
no,
be back.
no, you're not leaving me yet. We're on the air. We'll wait for somebody to take your spot. Oh, somebody's singing. So let's go and.
Okay, we'll put it on the singer.
Yeah.
Hi, hi.
Thank y'all.
Yanayo, 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 Yano, hey, nay, Yanayo, Yano, hey, nay, Waka oyate chawelo, wachiuelo, wanoelo, wiano heine, wanoelo, wanoelo, peju Nish. We choni alone, we choni alone, we choni alone, we choni alone. Tokashila wopila yellow, we choni alone. We choni elo hai 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 oh. I'm beto kayelo pejo tawa kayelo tokashila wopila yelo we choni elo. We choni alo hai hai. We choni alo. We choni alo. We choni alo. We choni alo. Tonkashila wopila yellow we choni yellow we choni yellow hi hi I'm beto yellow pejo tawa yellow Tokashila wopila yellow we choni yellow we choni yellow hi hi hi.
Okay, awiakotak. Nutinang kamuso. Open mic. Or sometimes I wonder why Raven doesn't sing. His sister sings real good.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that came in, help us celebrate this day. Let's give the ladies a hand for the meal. One thing I forgot to mention in my part in residential school was when I went in, according to my birth certificate, my name is Paul Wasquich. That's all it says on my birth certificate. When I came out, when residential school was closed, when I came home known as Joseph Paul. And I had asked later on in the years, there was a nun that taught in Chief Taylor. So I had asked her how come that was done that way. And the only explanation she can give me was Paul was not Catholic enough. So they put Joseph in front of my name to have a Catholic name. So when I went and got my passport, I kind of had a little bit of trouble with it because my birth certificate is Paul Wasquich, but all my other IDs have Joseph Paul on it. So I kind of struggled with that a bit, but it finally straightened out. But that was something else to mention on, because I wasn't the only one that came out like that. There was a few other kids that had different names when they left. So with that, thank you very much. And let's celebrate this every year. Let's not forget it. Every child matters, but every child matters every day. Love your children, kiss your children. Most of all, tell them and say, I love you. Because some of us have never heard it from our parents. Break this cycle. It's your turn to continue with that. Thank you very much.
That way, those are good things to talk about. Nista, I think we understand our parents, where they came from. From the Four Pillars group, Nista Nan Inanaskumwa, we thank you all for coming out. We've been doing healing things, family camp Ikea in July. August, Manitou Lake Ikea Tutahako Kaisinwak by Neilberg. Now we have, I think we arranged this all in how many days? Maybe 4 days to get this going. We thank all the supporters. Seventh generation do a fine job making sure everybody's getting the hang of the communication part. Nistanan, I guess our leader there, Denise, already had these feathers ordered, so we just have to put the orange ribbons on there. We didn't have time to order orange t-shirts. Magan here banners takaksitawak. Every month we will do something for the community to help families get together, to help you get together. Make sure you let us know if you need rides. We have a young woman over there, Darcy, Chief. Darcy, pasiko. Get up, Darcy. Do a, well, ikaw namin na Doris Chief Usima. So she's going to be doing a newsletter for the community. You can sit back down. Apuchi, if you'd like to say maybe biography, she's going to do autobiography. She'll talk to the people and ask them what's their history, what would they like to have written. Our next get together here, and I think that's be October 12th on Sunday, October 12th, we'll have a Thanksgiving meal here. Then November, we have NAW Week, National Addiction Awareness Week. Kapichi no tagahi. Imietama pichati. A lot of us like our round dance stuff. December, of course, is going to be another good month to celebrate something. Let's be grateful we're alive. Nanaskumwa, celebrate something here and there. Bring a friend with you, a relative, a cousin, your grandchildren. Nista, I have one grandson here, which I am grateful for. Kanute pitutit. Thank you, Don. And here's Clara. What? Clara goes and gets scared by that girl in the mask. Ah, me. That girl in the mask, take it off. Kawiway witman kawap mate tapasit. So we all have scary things like that growing up. Tyler, tawita mo. And Atito Guta feathers, extra ones, we're going to make sure we give them to survivors of residential school. There's a bingo across the road. There is a bingo across the road. 1 o'clock. Ekwa merchandise bingo. Makais po katipay kik pakakam. Probably have to pay our way in. And 5 o'clock, pre-game show outside Communiplex. 7 o'clock, hockey game. And the Blue Jays are playing today too. That's what I like watching, Blue Jays ball games. I'm a Blue Jays fan, and we're gonna hopefully win, get close to winning here. Maka, I don't know what else is left there for eating. Thank you for coming out to eat. Open mic, anybody wanna come and say a few words? Brian Misto, Joseph, maybe introduce you to this one guy. Nahaniti Munyas here. You see that guy over there? Late Mike's son. You want to stand up? What's your name? Keegan? Keegan Chief? Keegan Dillon, late Mike Chief Anuokosa. And he's just wanting to get to know his people too, just like Darcy there. And there's some people that I don't even know were related to some people, but welcome to Wanyan Lake.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, there is the Truth and Reconciliation pardon me for a second here.
Mike's son, Keegan. Val, Chief Avuta, your dad used to stay at their house.
Truth and Reconciliation.
Who's the one beside Emily, that guy, that good-looking guy? What's his name? Oh, Robert. Natch. Natch.
Dunk tank going on today over on the other side, over on the arena side parking lot. They're getting ready for some fast festivities brought to you by the Onion Lake Scouts, OLCN Scouts, as a home opener appreciation day for the community. Come on out. in support of the OLCN Scouts. They're going to be having a dunk tank and a few things going on over in the parking lot over at the arena with a puck drop at 7 p.m. So 7 Gen is going to be there live for those festivities. And we are going to be, I do believe we are going to be showcasing the hockey game tonight. Again, Onion Lake Prevention over on the east side of the reserve. They're having a come and go tea and bannock. So if you want to come out there, share your stories, show up there, talk a little bit. No pressure. Just some knowledge keeping and stuff like that. Share your story. Onion Lake Prevention, come on out to Onion Lake Communiplex Hall. Come share your story here. It's got an open mic going on till about 2 p.m. Truth and Reconciliation, Healing and Moving Forward, Mupmatsuan Mutetan workshop at the Onion Lake High School, Sagaskuch High School, Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Sessions begin at 10:50, 11 o'clock, a video presentation, 11:25, a song by Sagaskuch Drum Group, honor song. 11:30, History of Trauma with Leanna McDonald. 11:55, Mental Health and Wellness and Being Emotionally Balanced with Onion Lake Family Services Prevention. 12:20, Prayer for Lunch, and then a lunch break goes up until 1:15, where we're going to have Healing Through Ceremonies and Culture, facilitated by Mr. Randall Lewis. Healing Through Nutrition at 1:40 with Ken and Trista Badger. With a 2:10 break, 2:20, we're going to be going on to Addictions, facilitated by Brian Misto, myself. 2:45, Cyberbullying presentation by Onion Lake RCMP. And draws to follow. 3:05 to 3:15, must attend all sessions in order to be entered into draws. In order to heal a nation, we must first heal the individuals, the families, and the communities. A great phrase by Art Solomon. Please wear an orange shirt for tomorrow's events over at the Sagaskuch High School. It's going to be some good stuff. Sagaskuch High School honors the impacts that residential schools have left on our survivors, our families, and our community by extending healing strategies to our youth and our community. So be there tomorrow and support Sagaskuch High School and the Truth and Reconciliation, Healing and Moving Forward workshop. Mupmatsuan Mutetan. Some of the things that are going to be covered are, topics that we'll be speaking about. How do you connect with this topic? The topic and how it affects your life. Links to residential school. Things that we did to combat residential school triggers. There are a bunch of stuff that we could touch on. There are so many things that we need to get out there and we need to bring a light to. In order for us to heal as a nation, we need to get our stories out there and be aware that not only us are feeling the effects and being leaders and trailblazers in our recovery and everything like that. We could share our knowledge on things that we use, supports that we use, and stuff like that in order for us to combat ours. We might just spark an idea in somebody else's mind. We might just spark that idea and, give somebody an upper hand on what they're looking for or what they need to do in order to help themselves. So, come on out to Sagaskuch High School tomorrow and listen to what the facilitators have to say. We hope to see you there. You know, there's still an open mic here in Onion Lake at the Communiplex Hall, and they are getting ready to go live over at the Onion Lake Arena. In regards to the Onion Lake home opener, and everything at the arena is brought to you by the Junior A Scouts, which are having a home opener tonight at 7 p.m. I do believe their things are going to be going from right around now or when they start up until about 5 p.m. and then they got to go and get ready for their game. So come on out and support our OLCN Scouts. Hope to see you there. Ahoo.